Don't get it twisted, nigga, I'm no tool. More cool than a pool in a blizzard with ice cubes in it during Christmas, meaning there's no school in the misfit, like I'm throwing a fit.
What is going on, YouTube? I have another black and white battle with my Hail team, and this Hail team is a little bit different from my last Hail team, and you'll see as the battle goes on. So anyways, I'm going to lead out with Glitch Core because I don't want to get Hail started this early in the game, and I just want to get my Toxic Orb up, and I'm going to go for the U-turn, and he went for the Hidden Power Ice, I'm assuming, because there's no other Hidden Power that a Bronzer would want to go with against a Glitch Core. So he's going to predict my switch into something that resists Ice and go for the Earthquake. But I just go out to my Sigilyph, and I wanted to just get my Flame Orb activated too. So I'm going to switch back out to my Glitch Core to see what his counter to my Sigilyph is, and it's a Heatran. And not wanting to overpredict this early, I just go for the Earthquake, and he's going to switch out to a Rotom. And most Rotom are Scarfs, but either way, a Bomb Snow is going to be able to take the Hydro Pump or the Thunderbolt, because that's the only two moves they would logically go for, because all you've seen so far is my Glitch Core and Sigilyph. And he's going to go to his Bronzong, and I'm just going to predict the switch and go for the Focus Punch, because I didn't see the leftovers, and if he did have leftovers, I probably would have switched out, because Hidden Power Fire is pretty common on Rotom. So I'm going to go for the Leech Seed, and he's going to set up a Stealth Rock, which kind of sucks, because I'm not going to be able to freely switch in and switch out with my Abomasnow now. And Abomasnow is a really good Pokemon because of the Hail, and Subseeding Focus Punch is really good. So I'm going to go for another substitute as he brings in a Spiritomb. And right here I don't see the leftovers, so I'm going to assume it's Choice Banded and just go for the Blizzard, and that's going to be a 2-hit KO. And he goes for the Hidden Power. Fighting or Fire? I'm assuming it's going to be Fire because of Ferrothorn. And I'm going to switch out into my Heatran because I thought it was Fire. And he's going to switch out as well, which is really good for me because Blizzard was going to be a 2-hit KO, and if it wasn't Fire and if it was Fighting, it would have done a lot of damage to my Heatran. So I'm going to set up my Stealth Rock right here. Now I'm going to go for the obvious Flamethrower because he does have the Heatran. And so I'm going to switch out and go to my Sigilyph, because even though I saw that I was faster because Hail hit me first and I recovered my leftovers first, I wasn't quite sure if the Earth's Power would have won it KO'd, because I don't know. I have 350 special attack on this Heatran, but I wasn't sure if he was max special defense too. I wasn't really sure if it was going to take it out. So I go for another Cosmic Power. I should have just gone for a Roost right there, because I'm obviously going to have to force a switch out. And so I go out to my Glitch Core right here, and he's going to go for a Trick. And I predicted that well, because he gets a Toxic Orb right here, and right here I make a bad play, and I see that he didn't switch out, so I assumed that he was going to go for another Hydro Pump, but he makes a really good play, just goes for a Trick again, knowing that I would switch out or go for the U-turn, and he tricks my Abomasnow a Toxic Orb, and he takes my leftover, so he's not going to be living as long, because no leftovers plus Toxic Orb, obviously. So he's going to switch out and go into his Bronzong, and I set up my Leech Seed, and so right now I'm just going to go for a sub, and he's going to switch out again as I go for a substitute, and he's going to bring out his Repushin, which I'm kind of scared of because my Glitch Core is now Choice Scarfed, so he's not going to be able to switch moves and go for the knockoff, and then Earthquake. I can't knock off then Earthquake. I'm just going to have to force to just Earthquake. So he's going to go for the Drain Punch and recover off all his HP, but he still takes the Leech Seed. So right here I have option of going for the Blizzard or going for the Focus Punch, and I decided to just go for the Blizzard because I know I'm faster than his Repulsion, and if he went for the Drain Punch, he would heal off all his HP, and if I went for the Focus Punch, I wouldn't have done any damage because of the Drain Punch. But now that I think about it, he would have just went for the Mach Punch if he went for any move. So Focus Punch would have been the best option. So right here I'm going to go for the knockoff, which was actually a pretty decent play if I stayed in and sacrificed my Gliscor. But as you can see, I'm going to switch out and go to my Sigilyph. If I just sacrificed my Gliscor, then I probably would have just 4-0'd him with my Sigilyph because Cosmic Power, Roost, Assist Power, and Psycho Shift. And his Heatran would have been taking hail damage every turn, and I would have just kept boosting up with my Sigilyph. And the only Pokemon that on his team that can take Psycho Shock is Bronzong and Spiritomb, and both of them are vulnerable to the burn. So anyways, I U-turn out and go to my Repulsion as he brings in his Rotom, and right here I'm thinking an Overheat is going to finish off his Repulsion because I do have 350 special attack like I said earlier, but he lives with a little bit of HP, and he's going to go for the Drain Punch and recover off all about half of what I did to him, which really sucks because my Gliscor is my 2 fighting resist. My Gliscor is Scarfed and my Sigilyph is burnt to death, so there's not much I can do to his Repulsion now. So I'm going to go for an Earthquake, and that's about a 2-hit KO from what he was at. And right here I could either switch out knowing that he's going to go for a Mach Punch or switch out, but I really didn't feel like switching out because I realized that a Choice Scarfed Gliscor is really bad, especially without any other coverage move, because my only 2 moves that I can really just do damage with is U-turn and Earthquake, and U-turn is not going to do anything to his Repulsion, so I'm just going to have to sacrifice it, and he's going to go for the Empower Ice. And so he's up 5-2 right now. So things are looking really bad for me. So I'm just going to go out to my Tauros, and I go for the Fire Blast. And that's easily going to be able to take it out because this Tauros can 1-hit KO a Ferrothorn with this Fire Blast because of Sheer Force and Life Orb. So I'm going to switch out and go to my Donphan, predicting him to go for the Mach Punch. And he does go for the Mach Punch. And right here I could go for the Ice Shard, but I wasn't sure if Ice Shard would finish off the Repulsion at this amount of HP because Gliscor's Earthquake didn't do a whole lot either. So I'm just going to go for the safe Earthquake because if I went for the Ice Shard and he went for the Drain Punch, he would have just recovered off most of his HP, and I would be at lower HP than I was at right now. So he's going to switch out and go to his Heatran. And now it's 2-3 right now, so things aren't looking that bad. So he's going to go for a Lava Plume, and I'm going to go for the Earthquake. And I lived that Lava Plume surprisingly, and that kind of shocked me. So it's 2-2 right now. So Donphan is pulling his weight, as long definitely Tauros too. So I'm going to go for the Ice Shard, hoping that I can want to KO this Garchomp with it, but he takes that really well, and he just goes for the Outrage. And if it's a Swords Dancing Garchomp with Bright Powder or whatever, I won this game, but if he's Scarfed, I lost, and he is Scarfed. I would have been able to finish off the rest of his team with Blizzard and Bulldoze, but he was Scarfed, so that was a good game. Wilechase. That crit kind of sucked, but that's the game. So rate, comment, subscribe. I'm going to be having another Hail Team battle later this week maybe, and it's definitely going to have a lot more synergy than this team. This team didn't really have a lot of synergy.